Yay! Real life. We'll just chop it a little bit when we need to. I'm trying to find. I'm just muting myself just for a moment. Just chop it a little bit. Trying to find. I'm just muting myself just for a moment. So I'm live on Facebook. And I have the tone of Facebook, which I can switch off there. Got it. Yay. So I'm live on Facebook. And I have the tone of Facebook, which I can switch off there. Got it. Yay. Why is it keeping saying that on Facebook? I have the tone of Facebook, which I can switch off there. That doesn't work. So if we do the fathom, I'll let go of the Facebook. I have two technical issues.
Want to mute yourself?
Yeah. Hello, just a minute. I just a few technical. We're still setting up here. So looks like I have like an enlightening thing here over me. Thank you for your patience. Better with the line. Thank you for coming, Carolina. There's a few people still joining, couple.
Hi, hello again.
Yeah, right. When's the first one? Yeah. So we will be recording this, so I can share it with other people. If that's okay with you, Carolina, you good? Questions are welcomed. I basically go through the 4 days, 5 days, with the extra bonus of the parasite cleanse. But what this is really about, but I would like to get the fathom on first, the note taker, which is just happening with my amazing assistant down the stairs. I don't know what I would do without him. There we go. Yeah. So it's always good to have some water handy, because I will ask you to have some water, and we will also do a little test with your water. So it'll be interesting. Just get yourself a good glass of water. How are we doing with the father? Yay. Here we go. Great. Fantastic. Okay. Have a glass of water? Great. So what I would like to talk with you about, and actually explore some more through questions as well, if you would want to, is the 5-day detox. And it's not happening in 5 days. It's 5 days of focusing on it and learning a bit more about it. What it is not is a diet. It's not really a detox either. It's really a reset. And when I, like, for the people that know me, they might know that I can see energy. And quite often, and you will be surprised how often, when I meet people that are like in desperate need for some change and low in energy and kind of like have tried everything there is to get their energy levels up, it's the most obvious thing that's missing. And that's what no one really teaches you. It's like when I would look at your energy, and if you imagine that you are a battery, plus at the top and a minus at the bottom. And at night, when we're sleeping, we go into a battery charger that charges us up for the day. So nighttime is super important. And if you know, in menopause and just in life, sometimes sleep is not something we prioritize. So the sleep time is really, really important to be able to recharge. But what is really interesting is quite often people are actually with their head in the sand and their feet ungrounded up in the air in the battery charger at night and wonder why they don't charge. And that is kind of like what the reset is about, is understanding, first of all, straightforward body functions, straightforward energy of how to get yourself the right way around into the battery charger. Because only if you're the right way around in the battery charger, all these wonderful tools and remedies help. It's an energetic thing. And I don't know how often you heard about grounding. Grounding is one of those things that, I don't know how many YouTube videos there will be on grounding. There will be millions. And yet I always find it puzzling why people make it so complicated. Because yes, it's really nice to have like a little grassy bit, take your socks off and walk over grass and whoops, you're grounded, or go and hug a tree, or grounding mats, magnets. There's a huge industry attached to grounding. And I have met people that have spent a lot of money on grounding and are still not grounded. How come? That is what we look at first thing in the course. So rather than having all these things, thousands of things going towards you and information overwhelming you and making it too difficult to actually make it actionable, we start with the most basic, which is your energetic charge. And I have not found anyone that managed to turn themselves around, first with me and then reliably on their own. It feels different and it's simple. So when we look at reset, if you try to do day 5 on day 1 or even day 2 on day 1, it's pretty much a waste of your time. And I have not really seen any proper strategy that is not super involved, and you need to kind of like dedicate like lots of studying for it, that can kind of like take you through it. So the 5 days is, of course, you can come back to every full moon. So you could do it any time of the month, because it's just a reset. It's not really a detox, but it would work any time of the month. But I think that if parasites who live where the sun doesn't shine believe in the full moon, and they're much more active, and it's scientifically proven that it is so around the full moon, there must be something to that full moon thing. So, and because the full moon heightens our awareness, that's why we often get frustrated, or there's more emotions, because things come up around the full moon. For some people more than for others, but usually for females more than for males, because we are actually moon beings. Our cycle is according to the moon. And there's lots of women that have cycles all over the place, or artificial cycles through hormone therapy. All is welcome. You don't need to have a straight cycle when you do this, but you might see that even that will balance out. And I'm not promising it, but when your circadian rhythms and your sequences, the cycles are in line with the moon, and you just pay attention to what happens, it balances more. Even just looking at the full moon. There's a really interesting thing that a midwife that I had actually told me. Is like, bathe your belly in the moonlight. It's actually a thing. It's a thing for getting pregnant, for being well, for morning sickness. It's kind of like known as a thing. The belly in the full moon. Just let it shine on there. And the beauty is it's like, you don't even need to believe in it. Same in menopause. Go and look at the moon when it's full. Go and look at it when it's just a sliver, and understand what the different energy and the different gifts are. And there's a full moon coming up shortly, and it's always good to have a little look over the course before you kind of like align it with the full moon. It will align with the full moon when the time is right. So the first thing you do is you mark your full moons in the diary. And you know that at the full moons, you have more heightened awareness, which makes what I teach you so much better, because I don't teach onto you, I give you options, and you fine tune everything I'm telling you to what feels right. And to be able to have your head in the right place for the battery charger and your feet on the ground, we need to turn you the right way around so you can trust your instincts. Because if you're with your head in the sand, do not trust your instincts. They will not work. So we work with clarifying and resetting your instincts, that you can, over months to come, month by month, some months will be very busy, sometimes some months will be kind of like really calling for a home retreat and you want to do more things. And that's really, it's flexible. But it is that time of the month that you will take a little bit of time for you. I would like to do a little experiment on that, how you feel the right way around with the grounding. And that was kind of like my little gift for you showing up here. And we will do that at the end of what I'm sharing with you. And I have a recording for that as well, that you will get as a little thank you for listening to that just by DMing me. Just reach out and I'll give it to you. It's down to essentials that we know, but we don't quite know how. So we know that grounding is important. Is that correct? Do you know that grounding is important? Do you know that being inspired, or kind of like hearing what's right for you, like getting a clear signal, is quite important? So these are two things I would kind of like reset fairly early, like in the first few runs, but they take practice. They need attention. And with the morning and the evening integration, that I have with this course, it helps you to tap into a little bit of magic while you're sleeping at night. Also, the power of the night is fantastic because you grow and reset at night. You also detoxify at night, mainly. So we don't really have too much to do when we're sleeping besides sleeping ideally well. And the course is designed to make your sleeping better and to really make the most out of your hours where you step out of the way. Because your system is quite efficient as long as it's supported. Your system detoxifies the best it can every day. So basically, it's like lots of organs and systems that work for you 24 hours. And are they on the payroll? How do you pay for someone working something so refined, working for you so hard? We pay through the food we eat. We pay through paying attention. One of our biggest detoxification organ next to the skin, which is the number one, the largest one, and there's the lungs, which also skin and lungs, they both have to do with oxygenation. We know that oxygen is important. I don't need to sit here to tell you that oxygen is important. Of course, we will reset it. We will learn again how we were designed to breathe, how we were breathing as babies. If you have a small one, or you maybe remember, just before they fall asleep, something changes in the brain. I will teach you that because it will remind your own brain how it is to feel safe and sleep deeply, like a baby falling asleep on a mummy's bosom. Just like that. And we can trigger that through breath work. It's so amazing. We don't even know how we're breathing. And then we're doing, rapid breathing and Wim Hof and all these circus acts of breathing instead of actually just working on our default breath. I have no idea how many breaths you take a day. Thousands, well over 20,000. So if we could even change the breath just a tiny little bit to make it better, that makes a huge difference in your whole being, in your energy levels. There's a posture involved in breathing well. There is a certain rhythm involved with breathing well. And we're resetting that in the evening so that our brain can kind of like digest that thought and that breathing rhythm, and it becomes default. It doesn't become default just by purchasing the course. I wish I could do that. I do have a witch's brew standing there, but I'm not a witch. These are very easy to do things. And because you see the benefit pretty much right away, it's an easy sale because you're lying in bed anyway. You know you should be doing something, some meditation or something. We all have this, like, if we would only have this amazing evening routine, right? So you will have an amazing evening routine and it will feel great right away. And then we have a way of getting up in the morning, which is just with a little bit more awareness. Not a big deal, but it is actually a big deal because you step in your purpose in the morning. Rather than going looking for it everywhere, we put the purpose right below your feet. So by putting the purpose right below your feet, right where you are in the present moment, that is probably the biggest reset you will ever do, to be honest. Everything else is just supporting and saying thank you to the systems that work hard for you. So first we need to mobilize some toxins, but also we're calling in the water energy. So there is an Ayurvedic protocol, which if you have any kind of illness, take it very seriously. If you just want to support well-being, well, you don't need to be quite as regimented, but it's still a very good thing to do to mobilize toxins throughout intercellular space. So the water gets prepared. You don't need an expensive water filter. This has been done since thousands of years. It's one of the oldest Ayurvedic medicine that has ever been given is boiled water, but boiled to the need to your dosha, your body type, or your ailments that you might have, or your imbalances. So it becomes medicine, and it's wow. And then your water, as a baby, every 20 minutes, your bladder empties. As an adult, every 30 minutes, your kidneys have an impulse. They have a, you don't need to go to the toilet because we have control, but there's something happening, an energetic bing in the kidneys. So at that energetic bing, every half an hour, we do a certain thing to help kidneys reset. It's amazing. Your kidneys are responsible for your emotions, your mental health, your rhythms, your sexual drive. It's a good thing, those kidneys. And if you know that you're doing it to have more libido and all sorts of other things, it's no hardship, I tell you. It's actually quite fun. So we make sure that these things are doable. So when you have that, which would be kind of like day one, under your belt, just like the first layer, then you can go to the next day. Because if you just do that half-heartedly to start off with and then go to the next day, you can do more harm than good. And I'm absolutely sure you Googled things like that, because we go next to the liver. The liver should never be detoxed unless the kidneys are supported, because the kidneys support the liver. So the kidneys clear first, and then what the kidneys, the leftover of the kidneys goes to the liver. If the kidneys are not optimized, what do you think is going to happen? The toxins that the kidneys don't flush out go into a liver that you try to detoxify. Ouch. Not good. Your liver doesn't like it. If you ever wondered why your liver detox doesn't work, maybe you didn't do first the breath, then the water. And I never see it anywhere online explained simply. So the water and the breath, they're kind of like the basis of life. Do you agree with me? Without water, without breath. So that's kind of like, we need to get that good. And if that takes an entire full moon sequence of 5 days, so be it. Because you will design it for you. If you're already great with your hydration, you just like something that you do, and you've already a breath expert, well, maybe one day is just right for you, and you can move on to day 2 on the next day. But it's really, and you can ask me questions in the course if you're unsure. I'm there. So, but it's really about listening in and giving yourself some credit for being the authority. I'm the guide, you are the authority. So, looking at the liver detox, it's fantastic. The liver is your lover. It cleanses your blood, and the blood is what builds your muscles, what builds your life form. You can't get around any kind of reset without building a relationship with your liver again. We do not drink yucky things to clean your liver. This is not drinking liver tonics. Do you understand? It's about understanding what your liver does. Where is it? Do you know where your liver even is in your body? It's on the right-hand side under the rib cage, just in case you didn't know. And you can actually go under the rib cage and penetrate the liver. If you go just like under the rib cage, if you have an enlarged liver, your liver will be right there, and it might say, hello, I'm not happy. If you can get your fingers right under your rib cage and there's absolutely no pain, your liver says, thank you for looking after me. So my liver is well paid because I pay attention to my liver. And bitches and things like that help. So if you have a liver that's kind of like going, hello, you don't even know who I am, and is a bit stroppy with you, that's when we look at liver tonics. But that's not what it's about, and not everyone needs it. It's a relationship with our body. That's the most important thing, first and foremost. After the liver, we go to the lymph. So, do you know what the lymph is? It's basically your rubbish, your rubbish pickup system that goes everywhere where the blood doesn't go. It's like water. It's like thin. It's like white blood cells. And oh, you know, if you cut yourself and it goes bad and there's like water coming out, that's like lymph to kind of like fix it back up again. It's super healer. But the problem is when we're not moving enough, is it like specific parts of our body? It's like, so whoever created us, believe it or not, I don't know if that being made a mistake or couldn't quite see to whatever, how many million years ahead. There is no pump. We have a lymphatic system that needs to be moved manually through our body. And if we sit 8 hours at the desk on the computer and at the table for our meals and then sleep in fetal position, just as if you take yourself from the chair at the computer and put yourself on the side, well, your lymph is toxic, absolutely toxic. And then people come to me, oh, can you do something? I have like some orange skin, like cellulite or something like that here. Could we do something about that? Well, that's what we need to do, is move the lymph. And I show you how to do it. And it sounds like hard work. It really isn't. You can do it every time you have a shower. It doesn't take long. It's easy, but you need to understand it. You need to build a relationship with your lymph again. And when you understand that the chicken dance is like a really good thing to do, you might actually be aware that moving your legs and marching and kind of like moving, having a little dance break when you're at the office or like in the evening, shaking it loose a little, makes a big difference. And it makes a big difference to your skin, to your aging, to your healing, to your deep skin. It's really essential. And very few people kind of like deal with that. So the lymph is also really important to hydrate the fascia. The fascia! The fascia is something I think that only became fashionable to talk about not that long, about 10 years ago or something like that. People talk about fascia. Well, yoga, the only point of the moving is moving the fascia. Every move of yoga is like a fascia line. That now there's like fascia books and things like that. It's just like sensible movement, which there's all movements that you need to do to be healthy. So, and you need the lymph in line first and clean and running before you can hydrate the fascia. How many fascia hydration or fascia yoga videos you've looked at? Well, it doesn't work unless you first done the breathing, the water, the liver, the lymph, and then the fascia. And do you know what makes the fascia tight next to lack of hydration? Stuck emotion. So you can see your psychiatrist, your psychologist, and your counselor till the cows come home. If you don't breathe, water yourself, look after your kidneys and your liver, move your lymph and your fascia, emotions don't tend to shift so easily. And you can do tapping and all sorts of things, but it's all electric. So it's still, you know, you still need to tick all those boxes before it becomes super easy. Your body wants to heal. Your body is there for you. It serves you so eagerly. You just need to give it a chance. And if that sounds like a lot of things to do, it really isn't, because I'm going to show you how you can do it easily. And you don't need to do it all the time, and you don't need to do all of them, because you will know which one is stuck in your body. You know which one you've neglected. So the next day was emotions. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to look at it in a really playful way. So it's not about neutralizing emotions. It's like, I can't take you into the Scottish forest and make you rage, which is amazing. But I can hold the bucket for you, and you can throw up into the bucket. It's a really good practice for any relationship, and if you have kids, it's an energy psychology practice, which is playful and not torturous. And I think it's one of those tools that everyone should know. And when you know it, it's like this secret weapon or that tool in your toolbox. It's like, oh, I need to change this screw. I need to unscrew this screw. Oh, wait a moment. I have a screwdriver here. Let me just unscrew it. It's really just knowing your tools and knowing when to use them. And that's, while this is quite a bit, and you need to look at it every month for a little bit, like bite sizes, I don't say it's all you need, but it is the foundation. Like, you can add whatever you want on top of it, but leaving any of that away, it's not that great for your system. Well, and then I have like this extra bonus day, which I came up with, which is like the 5th day, which is about parasites. It's surprising how many people have parasites and don't know about it. In some countries, I'm German, we have a really interesting thing called an inspection toilet. So when we go to the toilet, the most common toilets have like this ledge. Yep. Yep. It has a ledge. So you see what comes out on the other side. And it's the most normal thing to look. So if you have parasites, like little wiggly worms, well, you see them. They're very white. They're really bright. But if they kind of like went down the hole into the water, you wouldn't even know you have them. How well do you digest? Well, you know how well you digest if you look what comes out on the other side. If you're intolerant to corn, the corn looks exactly the same as when it goes in as it comes out, because your enzymes won't break it down. And a lot of people can't digest corn and lots of other things. It is interesting. I'm not gonna get you digging around. I just want you to be aware. Just know that there's a lot of information that comes out on the other side. Cool. But there's another parasite, and that's friends and family or other people. And it's about boundaries. It's about having your energy sucked like crazy and finding your self-loving no. And the self-loving no is a wonderful, wonderful thing I love to gift all of the people that come to the course. It's an integration. It's not just a thought process. It's actually really reclaiming it. And it's just, I absolutely love this course. It's simple. It's good for the whole family. You can always do some, so it's like the minimum in the course. And then there's things like links that you could go to other people if you want to have some more, like how to support other organs that might not work so well. One of the common ones is the thyroid. It's also in the course, but it's not the main track thing. It's like the set. You need to kind of like go through it, and you see that if you have problems with thyroid, you can go there and have it. I am very excited about it. I don't know about you. How familiar does this approach sound to you? May I ask you, Carolina? Carolina is studying naturopathy and holistic health. So for me, it's really interesting to hear, is this something you knew? Is there something new to you that you've just heard?
I think it's essential for everybody. I cannot imagine a person that wouldn't benefit from such a course. And definitely, first, the water, hydration. Like, I think 85% of all the illnesses could be cured just with water and knowing how to put that water into your cells, because drinking water sometimes can dehydrate you even. So that's super important. So I love how it's structured, and the liver, your second biggest detoxifier, taking care of that, the lymph. Like, I couldn't agree more. But the best part, I think, is the last part, which is emotions and boundaries and listening to yourself. Yeah, definitely.
By
All in
listening
line with
to yourself,
naturopathic. Yeah.
you're paying attention. That's the payroll for all those organs working together. It's like looking in. Pay attention. That's the currency of well-being and health and holistic health, because our body whispers before it screams. And when we pay attention, even once a month, there's a new moon practice there as well in there, thrown in at the side. But if you just make sure that once a month we just take an hour or whatever we have to really kind of like listen in, we notice before things go wrong. And that's when still natural things help really, really well, aligning things. If you wait till it has like a Latin name attached to it and it can be seen in an X-ray, it's kind of like that's when you kind of like need to go to the doctors. But the fine-tunement through paying attention, and even like little things like when you're aware that your feet are cold or your kidneys are cold, that is such an important thing. Oh yeah, my kidneys are cold. Then you need to warm them, and we have like a little protocol on that as well, so that you don't get a cold. Because in cold season with cold kidneys, you're really screaming here, you know. I want some of that. So it's just little practical things, and a lot of it, once heard, you can't forget. It's just it's logical, because your body already speaks that language. It just goes, oh, finally she got it, right? It's just like there is no resistance. So where a lot of detoxes and resets and all sorts of things feels a bit like an uphill struggle, this feels like a coming home. It's like learning the language of your body, which we should have learned a long time ago. And that's why I really love this little program, to share with you and your friends. And yeah, it stays around forever. So you can download the whole thing if you want to and just go back in again. And as you detoxify and reset, every time you go back through the processes, it's like onion layers. You understand more of what I say. It drops a little bit deeper what I say. It makes sense. And then signs come. Signs around you, and you see synchronicity. And it's just amazing, because it just heightens your senses. And it's just so wonderful living in a magical world compared to living in a world where you just have to roll with the punches. So thank you very much for joining me today. And yeah, you can sign up anytime. The doors are open. It's good to start with the shopping list. There's two versions of the shopping list. There's an essential, which costs you under £10, I think, to get things. And there's a nice to have ones. And they make it a little bit easier and less messy, some of the things. And then rather than telling you what to eat, I share with you some really easy superfoods that you can put in and you should have in your diet, which are super easy. For example, spelled flour. Spelled flour. So we always have flour. Spelled flour comes as something like porridge oats. It looks similar. And then it comes as flour, and it comes as grains. So there's different things. And even when you just make an omelette, or make a not an omelette, like a crepe or something like that, just put a little bit, like half white flour and half the other one, and slowly top it up a bit till you learn how the consistency is. It's a bit different. So just add it in rather than going cold turkey. If you're already working with good grains and things like that, spelled is the way to go. It actually heals your gut. It's a natural low gluten grain, but it has like I love ancient traditions and people that were kind of like famous for healing ages ago and have never been proven wrong. There's someone called Hildegard von Bingen, and she's like at the frontier of natural medicine. She's quite amazing. And really the one thing next to fiber and good oils is spelt flour. Like it's not complicated, and like lots of vegetables, seasonal vegetables. That's pretty much it. And replacing our white flour with something a bit better isn't really difficult. You can make cake with it and everything. I would keep maybe some of the white flour for the gluten so it sticks better together because the consistency changes. But it's really no hardship at all to change little things like that. So it's not a huge lifestyle change for huge benefits. And knowing and understanding how your body works replaces any motivation or discipline you need to bring up for it, because it just makes sense. Why would you do it any other way now that you know? And knowledge is power. And I love to empower you to become less dependent on anyone and more empowered through your own guidance. And that's why you don't just follow what I say. You can journal and see how it feels. Try it for a few days. And some things will resonate more with you than others. And some things you might just want to try even though you've never done it before. For example, journaling. Around the full moon, I put my normal journal where there's quite a lot of words in it to the side, and I have a full moon diary, which is only for full moons. And there's a specific way of how to write it. It's not many words. And then we use alchemy. Alchemy, magic to neutralize and to bring forward energetically the different things that we wrote down. It's wonderful. If you're kind of like not a journaler, try it. It's really easy. And if you're a journaler, you will love it. And there's lots of little things like that in there that if you journal already, this is not going to be hard. Journaling slightly different on a full moon, and it will keep you present with your practice of journaling. And with that, I think, is there any more questions, Carolina? No? Cool.
No, I'm good.
Good. So just enjoy and yeah, and feedback and share it with other people so that they can be empowered as well. Thank you so much for your time and in listening to this. Thank you, Carolina.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank
Wonderful. I
you.
send you some details.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Bye.